I need that hat.
Want my autograph?
Hell no.
You know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah. You do a selfie. There you go.
If I was to liken the last 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration, it would be like a horrible horror movie meets a low-budget comedy, where you go to the movies, you expecting to see something, and then you see the exact opposite, leaving you to wonder why you even spent your money to go there. We went from having a strong economy, a strong border, to the complete opposite. Democrats have been flopping and failing over the past 4 years, and it's been progressing to this apex where they finally did the worst thing they could possibly do in losing the authority as the commander-in-chief. Thank goodness, right? But we're going to go to Anna Paulina Luna, who is a representative of Florida, where she's having an interview with Jesse Waters on Fox News in regards to the 2024 Democratic flop.
They said the word flop a lot. Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna joins me now. Congresswoman, thanks for being on the show. Let's start with, what do you think at this moment in time? We've heard it mentioned that he's a blip between two Trump terms. What will be the legacy of Joe Biden?
You know, honestly, Will, what I've realized after meeting him and then obviously working extensively with President Trump on the campaign trail is that Joe Biden is in cognitive decline. And I do believe that, you know, his own party, instead of really rolling with him, they undercut him, they ousted him. And so he hasn't exactly been putting forward a big effort to support the Democrat Party because, as I've said before, the Democrat Party is fractured and in their own identity crisis. But, Will, you know, the last thing President Joe Biden is going to be known for is for pardoning Chinese spies and pedophiles. And what I can tell you is it's my belief that the U.S. government has one job. It's not to play God, but to arrange the meeting between these pedophiles and God. And so if you want...
Amen to that. Now, she's absolutely right? And it's not that they completely just left him alone and decided, oh, he wasn't the best fit. He was going to be able to get us over the hump because he was so far gone. It's the fact that they lied about it for 3.5 years and then decided, without actually going through the actual process, inputting Kamala Harris into that position to possibly become the president. I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have. And yes, like, he's going to be known for pardoning his son, right? Which is horrible in and of itself because he repeatedly said he wouldn't. And then Chinese spies and pedophiles, letting them go, which is crazy. And I do believe that Donald Trump should take some action towards some of the things that Biden has done recently.
Wants to do that as his final end-all be-all for president. I wouldn't advise it, but again, I just don't think that he's excited to help the Democrat Party anymore.
Yeah, whatever's happening, to your point, in this last month of his presidency threatens to be the thing that does define his legacy. The other definition that we're searching for, Congresswoman, is the current brand of Democrats. You heard me mention that they're within the tent among Democrats. They're saying the brand is in the toilet. I don't know. Right now, I mean, they're having their own little civil war, and that's fine. You should do that when you lose an election to define who you are going forward. But I don't know the brand for Democrats.
No, the fact is that the Democrat Party really has truly become the party of special interest and corporation. I want to remind people that a lot of these elected officials in D.C., specifically in the Democrat Party, literally wanted to take away Americans' livelihood during COVID-19, and we're pushing for just this like draconian measures against the American people that ultimately killed our businesses, that separated families, kept people away from their loved ones, whether it was in marriages, funerals, or when they're in the hospitals. And so these people are truly removed. I would just like to point out, in the previous segment, you had Representative Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, who has literally gone on television and said that if we don't import people here, who's going to pick the crops? And yet she's somehow virtue signaling, saying that Trump's going to do something bad about getting involved in Panama. I mean, this woman could not be farthest from the truth, A. And B, you see that there's a tone of racism in the messaging that they push against minorities that aren't voting Democrat. So, I mean, I pray for my colleagues. They're not all bad, but a majority of them are completely lost. And I think that...
and she's absolutely spot on again. I feel like, and I'm pretty sure that the left has, I believe a lot of the liberal and conservative party is somewhat center aisle, right? And then there's a few things on which one individual feels is more important and aligns more with their mindset and their values. Then they lean towards that side, right? Whichever side that may be. But then you have those that are out on the far fringes. And it seems like those people, especially on the left, are the ones that are getting the most voice, the biggest voice. And I feel like, and I don't, like, correct me, but that there will be a splitting off of the Democratic Party where you will have those that are more along the side of being moderates, and then you have those that are Marxist, far out there socialists who want to completely control everything that you do, that you say, and that how you live.
A lot of soul searching to do. Get back to the Constitution, the American people.
Well, to your point, if we did define together the current brand of the Democratic Party, I think you might have touched on both parts of it, I think, right there. Definitely the corporatism aspect. They've definitely become the party of the special interest, the corporate lobby, which I did talk about at the top of the show. The other, though, is race. It's like identity politics. And you heard in that clip from Chuck Todd, he said when it came to Latinos, Trump spoke to them as the working class. Democrats spoke to Latinos as people of color.
Yeah, they did. You know, you remember the Kamala Harris commercial where she rolled out a video specifically for Hispanic and Latino voters. And it was a woman with an accent, which, by the way, Hispanics and Latinos are not just monolithic. We're all diverse. I'm Mexican. There's Puerto Ricans, Colombians, El Salvadorians, all over the place. We don't just have one accent, but also to talk to people as if they're not American first. It's completely rude and disrespectful to the amount of people that have come here legally, started businesses, become doctors, lawyers, politicians, and it just shows how far removed they are. So again, capitalism is okay, but crony capitalism is not good, and that's what the Democrat Party represents.
And it is so good to see that many people that are on the left have kind of opened their eyes. They've truly became awoken to a lot of the things that are happening on their side, and they're like, no, this doesn't add up. And you can see that every election year we kind of ramp up into this escalation, this escalator of hatred, of bigotry, of racism, where everything is projecting about race. It has to do with race, right? Recently in New York, Daniel Penny, a young white man who had to put someone, a black gentleman, into a chokehold in order to secure him for the safety of himself and other people, right? And then you have BLM coming out and just slandering that guy. I mean, he went through every single thing. Legacy Media went through the ropes to make sure that he was going to be tried and convicted. Thankfully, he wasn't, right? But then you have black on black crime that happens all the time, and there's no speaking about it. You had a gay couple, right, in Georgia who adopted two white boys and then essayed them, right, and then used them as human trafficking. Legacy Media, very little said on that. Crazy horror movie, kind of a comedy, but not really funny. Yeah, that's exactly what it's been like. So I'm glad to hear that Trump is on the way in. I'm glad to see that the Democratic Party is getting a stirring up, that their brand needs to change, and that they have to become more realistic with what's going on and be more for the people than for the corporate interests. Thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, comment. We're going on a journey talking about faith, family, culture, and country, and I'm glad you're going to be along with me. Bye-bye.